I had an experience past week. I interviewed by Sean Hannity. Anybody hear that? And I was debating with this guy, Leo Terrell. It's like Big Mama, and he never stops. And then he get louder and louder, worse. But I stayed calm and I was not disturbed by him at all, distracted or anything, because I just hear this mouth on out there in the world, and I'm there to get my message across. So the real me was not bothered by it.
You drove him crazy.
He drove you crazy?
You drove him crazy.
Oh, yeah, he go nuts.
Yeah, when you're calm, he just freaks out.
And that's what I want married people to do, so marriages can last, whether it's the man or the woman. Whomever is the loudmouth in the marriage, let them be the loudmouth. And you just stand there and look at them as though you're looking at a movie. They'll go nuts, and you'll go sane. But if you try to argue back with them, then you have two nutty people in a marriage, and the marriage is going to end. But somebody has to stay calm to bring some light into that family. But when both parties are going at it, it's all hell. That makes sense? God said, be still and know the truth. So when you're calm in the midst of the storm, you're discovering truth. And it is absolutely amazing. And speaking of words, I have some questions for you guys. I've noticed that words are messing with people's mind. And words are preventing most people to see that they're using all these words, but they're not happy people. They don't have peace. They don't seem to wonder to themselves, if I know all these truths, if I know all these words, why is it I don't have peace? If I know God's truth, why don't I have a better life? And I'm going to give you some examples of what I've discovered, and then I want your response, because I could be wrong. Since you guys don't bring anything to me, I brought something to you today. And this is not a test, this is a fellowship, and I'm looking for some answers. All right? I know a lot of folks who are into the Bible, and I wrote down some of the comments I hear all the time from these people. And they know the Bible, and when you talk to them, their first thing that they do is quote scriptures to you. You ever seen anybody like that? Get behind, in the name of Jesus, whatever they say. For example, I had a woman call my show this week, and she said, well, before I get going, I want to say, I am wonderfully blessed in the Lord. This is on a radio talk show. And I had a guest there with me. And then she went on to say, no weapons will be formed against me. No weapons that are formed against me shall prosper. And she was going on and on. I'm like, look, you better get to your point while you're up here quoting all these scriptures before I had to hang up on you. My question to that, and then I have some more. I'll give you another example. And then I want to know what's going on in people's mind, because what's going on in your mind that you're quoting these things, and yet you're angry and unhappy, your life not working, but you don't stop for a minute and say, why isn't my life working then? Because the Bible clearly says our life should work if we know what we know, right? I already know the answer. The answer just came to me, but I'm not going to tell you. I'll let you tell me back. I know people who even listen to me, and they go around pouncing on other people, telling them the truth about themselves all the time. And when you look at their life, you wouldn't even want to be like them. You hate them for telling you the truth because they're about nothing. Don't have any money, hardly got anywhere to live, relationships are not working, friendships are not happening, but you're going around telling other people the truth about themselves, and they say, no, don't tell me the truth about me, and then you still tell them. How come people don't pause for a moment to say, well, if I know all this truth, how come I'm not that living example? Because God said that we should be like a living example and not just a wordy example. Why do words mess with people like that? What is going on that you can't see that you just got a head full of words? Yes, sir. And I got some more examples I'm going to give you here in a minute.
Okay. But what?
Is this a good question?
Yes, it is.
Anybody ever thought about this?
Yes.
Oh, good. All right. Yes, sir.
It seems like there's an old saying that a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing. The problem is people don't want to listen to that any more than they want to listen to who and what they truly are. For what you explained, that these people are using the word as either a weapon against their fellow man or as a shield to hide themselves from the rest of the world, including God.
I don't know if they mean any harm about it, though. Sometimes I just think, for some reason, they think that that's right. I remember when I used to go to church, and especially the last church I attended, that preacher taught us to know the Bible, know the words of the Bible, and I tried to learn them. I couldn't, but I tried. But I still was thinking, wow, I'm not happy. I know 1 John, but 1 Jesse is not happy. And I would tell the preacher, you know what, I know that I've done this, but I'm still not happy. So I still had sense enough to know that I didn't have that peace within me after doing what the preacher said to do. But most people don't seem to know that, and I don't know why. Even my guest, who happened to be a black female at the time, preacher woman, he saw this woman as nutty. But the woman didn't see herself as nutty. So my question is, do you see how words affect your life? Yes.
But there's a judgment that's involved in that. So sometimes I see myself in that mode. It has to do with the judgment and not aware of self also. So if you are judging yourself, so you're going to criticize the person that comes before you to speak to you, and you might see something, even though you don't take care of yourself, you see it in someone else. So you go along and try to correct them and not even paying attention to yourself. And that's what I've seen in myself. So that's why I kind of backed off and said, whoa, why am I saying this to this person, and I'm just as bad as they are, in a sense.
Right.
It's not.
Oh, so.
Go ahead.
So, when you do that to other people, use words on them from the Bible or whatever, or truth about them.
Right.
It's because you've judged yourself, you say?
Sometimes when it's over with and I really sit back and I look at what I said and how the people responded, and I see what I haven't done, and I said what they should be doing, and that tells me that, hey, what's wrong with you? You're out of sync,
Oh, I see. And so the truth you're trying to tell them has not worked on you, and you realize that after you have spoken to the other person.
Yes.
Oh, okay, but you don't see it beforehand.
No.
Oh, okay.
You see, and then until either you might say something or it might come up in my meditation, and I'm going like, whoa, let me back up for a moment, Before I accuse you, I have to take a look at myself.
Right.
So that, and that's what I see with some of the Bible thumpers. They do the same thing.
Here we talk about ego a lot, right? And you hear me talk about the pride of man is ego. And now I have people who are testing their egos. And for example, I had I'm distorting this person so you don't know who it is. All right? I started something about to lie about the person, but I'm distorting to protect the person. Is that honesty or what?
Yeah.
I had a person tell me that they got on an airplane. Did I tell you the story? They got on an airplane, and when they walked on the plane, they said to the worker, because you get on the airplane, you have the mechanics on the plane sometimes, clean it up and do what they're doing. They walked over to the mechanic and said to the mechanic the word bomb. And the mechanic like, what? They said bomb. And so, but this person said that the mechanic just fanned them off.
B-U-M or B-O-M?
B-O, like a bomb, you're supposed to say,
B-O-M-B.
like Bin Laden kind of bomb.
Oh, okay.
Like the Taliban kind of bomb.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they said, but the worker just fanned them off and went on back to work. And so they sat down on the plane, and then they got back up and went over to the flight attendant and said to the flight attendant, if I use the word bomb on this plane, don't you supposed to do something about it? And then and that person said, I said the word bomb to the worker and they just fanned me off. Should you do something? And the flight attendant said, well, what do you want? Do you have a bomb? And they said, no, I don't have a bomb. But then why are you saying the bomb? Do you want to get thrown off the plane? They said, no. And so the flight attendant said, go sit down then. And so the flight attendant had the pilot to talk to this person. And so the pilot talked to the person, and the pilot said, are you on medication? Why are you using that word? Do you want to be thrown off the airplane or something? And they said no. And it kind of broke my heart to tell you this, because the person's really a nice person. And then so I said, well, and so the flight attendant said, you know, the pilot said, go sit down then if you don't want to be thrown off this plane. The flight attendant thinking maybe the person on medication. And so I said to the person, well, why did you say that? What made you say bomb on an airplane when you know the consequences? And they said, well, I wanted to test my ego. I wanted to see how I would react in a situation like that. I said, so do you realize you can go to prison for life? That's not, you're not supposed to test your ego. The ego get enough tests on his own. The devil's he's gonna test for you. You don't have to do that. I'm like, where did you get this idea from? And they said, well, from the teaching, I thought that's what I'm supposed to do, test myself so I can see where I'm at. And so I'm thinking, wow, that is powerful stuff. How do words mess with people's mind like that? That the ego, I don't understand it almost. Because with words, they're supposed to go in one ear and out the other. Do you know you're never supposed to hold on to words? You're never, ever, ever supposed to hold on to words. You become a prisoner of words when you hold on to them. And I know we've been taught that in school to remember math, remember this, but even there, if the teacher had known, they would have told us to hold on to it. They would say, study properly, it'll be there for you, because we have a teacher within. But when you hold on to words, it seems as though the devil used those words against you. Have you noticed that? Or am I just crazy here? Does it make sense, or is something wrong with me?
It makes sense.
But people are doing it in every category, not just, I gave you some religious categories, but you can look into the secular world and see the same thing. They learn in math, they learn in this, and they hold on to it, and by the time they're out of school, they're a nutcase. Words are not to be held on to. They are to go in one ear and out the other one. And okay, I don't want to finish up on this. I want to hear back from you about it. But isn't it like crazy?
Yes.
But it's not crazy to the world. And I bet you a lot of you do it if you be honest today and admit it. Let me give you two quick other examples, and then I'm out of here. Parents. I know Christian parents who are teaching their young children the Bible. And you're saying, what's wrong with that, right? They are teaching them the Bible in a way where the kids are learning the words and repeating them back just like a preacher. And you can see the wickedness in that when these kids learning the Bible. It's taken away from their natural discovery. It's taken away from their innocence. And it caused them to become evil. Because they have the knowledge of good and evil now with the Word. And these parents who are teaching the kids that, they won't look at their own lives and see that they're messed up. They're still angry, their relationships are not working, they're on drugs, they're having sex out of wedlock. But yet they're teaching the kids the Bible that they know that didn't work for them, but they won't say it didn't work for me, so I'm not going to teach my child in this way or children in this way. Have you ever seen anything like that? Yes. Maybe I'm nutty. But it's not working. You're not supposed to hold on to words. One last example. I saw Jesse Jackson. You ever heard of him, right? The Reverend? Down in Louisiana, speaking to a group of black people who are concerned about the oil spill. And the reporter said, Jesse Jackson's in town to pray for faith with the ones who are in this situation. I'm like, why in the... I want to use another word, starting with H. What goes through a person's mind to think that Jesse Jackson can come to town and you can go and pray with him and God's going to answer your prayer? I don't understand this stuff. Okay, I'm done. Now I want some feedback. Honest feedback. Oh, okay. Yes, Shay.
Yes, I have a message from Luis in Oklahoma City. And he says, or she, God opened my eyes to see the difference between the church of the world and the church of Jesus Christ. And you represent the church of Christ. You are opening people's spiritual eyes, and it's a great joy to hear the message. I will keep watching.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Is this making sense? Is this like food for thought?
Absolutely.
Is it? These are the kinds of things that God wants us to be aware of, because by not being aware of it, you're in bondage and you don't know it. You don't know what holds you there, because you're not paying attention to all these kind of things that are from the world. This is why he said that whatever goes inside of you, it destroys you. But that comes out gives us life. And so all this stuff is being put up on you, and because we're unconscious to it, it is destroying our lives.